Well, I've never been very much interested in thematic work. The idea of a theme, which, you know, maintains itself right through today in serial music, has never interested me at all. Because what it seems to introduce is a kind of rhetorical, almost a semantic, almost as though this is the meaningful statement. And now I'm going to show you how I can play with that and do other things with it, and that's the drama of the music. It just doesn't interest me. I'm interested in sound and textures and forms, not that kind of rhetorical thing. I've got this thing to explain to you, right? This thing I'm going to tell you, and then I'm going to tell you in a dozen different ways something related to it. I mean, I do that in speech, of course, we all do, but I don't want to do that in music. Most of the earlier definitions of form have been as a means to some end, right? Like the rhetorical forms, sonata form, based on the discipline of rhetoric and the conceptions beyond that. That's a strategy of persuasion, right? It's to try to make sure that the listener understands the relationships of themes and modulations and so forth. So it's a means to an end, another end. Schoenberg defined form as a means to ensure comprehensibility. Again, a means to an end, not a thing in itself. And but I like to think of it literally as just something at a large hierarchical level that's equivalent to things that at a lower level make up for what we think of as content, or timbre, or just the nature of the sound, right? Listen to bridge very carefully, and in fact, start out, listen to the first minute of it, and then go listen to the last minute of it, and see how completely different they are. And then listen to the whole thing, and notice that, like the minute hand on a clock, you can't hear it changing at any point. It's absolutely continuous. But I really like the idea that we say, okay, here's a stylistic point or area here. Here's another one. Look how different they are. And I say, but I can make it one continuous transition from that one place to the other. Anybody can, not just me. It's not like I'm not bragging about some special thing I can do, but it's a viewpoint that not everybody has. Now, when it comes to microtonality, I don't see how we can, well, any kind of music, I don't see how we can avoid considering how do people hear, you know, what is that listening experience. And with respect to tuning, I think one of my contributions to the field is the concept of tolerance. I call it tolerance. Just like an industrial laboratory would talk about tolerances and diameters of bolts or something like that. It's unrealistic to think that we do not have to take that into account. It's unrealistic to believe that we can be absolutely in tune, right? You can be more and more in tune, but it's an asymptote. It's not, you're never there, you're just getting closer and closer to it. But I believe it's more than that. It's more than just a recognition of human frailty. It's also, I believe, a recognition that within a certain tolerance range, we are going to interpret an interval. My hypothesis is that we, and by that I mean our auditory systems, and this is not a conscious thing, interpret an interval as meaning, harmonically, the simplest ratio interval within the tolerance range of what's actually being sounded. Okay, so if you're within 5 cents of a 5 to 4, you're going to hear 5 to 4. That's what the meaning is going to be. If you're within 5 cents of a 9 to 7, it's going to mean a 9 to 7. Right? These are two different sizes of what we in tempered tuning call major thirds, right? But they have different harmonic meanings. In the one case, the lower note is a root. In the other case, it's not.
Softer than that. That's almost yeah, let it be resonant. Move it around.
What I'm after is a continuous texture that is harmonically controlled by these sets of available pitches, and rhythmically rather amorphous. In fact, I don't want any sense of a beat, a pulse, downbeats or anything like that.
That shouldn't be too hard.
Yeah, right. Okay. By the time it gets back to you, it's a case similar to what we had in the swell pieces. That I want something that is a kind of a compromise between two mutually conflicting conditions. One is that there is a continuity, not an absolute continuity. All of these you could. But there's a continuity of the sonority as a whole, but it's not a homogeneous continuity, because there are going to be, if somebody focused in on one pitch, they would hear that being played by different instruments at different times, and they might hear it passing from one instrument to another. I like that idea of the timbral change on a given pitch. So, but those conditions really are at loggerheads. So there's a tension there between them, and I mean that's fine. But there are these two different things that I'm after. Okay. The string quartet, are the string players here? Huh? Okay. Fuck 'em. I often feel kind of claustrophobic in a concert hall. I'll deliberately sit on the aisle way back in the back so I can flee the concert hall if I feel the necessity. And I have a chronic cough, which is very useful. I can, haul that out when I need it. My attitude about teaching, my conscious idea about what my job is to try to figure out what the student wants to do, and then help him or her do it. Now, that, to the extent that I succeed in that, it means I've got to have some kind of intuitive grasp of what they intend, even when the first evidence that they show me of it may not be actually realizing it very effectively. And often students can't articulate very clearly what it is they want. So if I've been effective, it must mean that I do have an ability to sense what they're after, and then find some way to help them get it. Once you've fully explored an area, then the only reason to go back to it is to just take advantage of the expertise that you've gained or the reputation that you've gained. And that's not really very deeply satisfying. What you want to do is find out what it is that you don't know how to do, that you're not sure of what the result will be, and proceed in that direction. And to me, that's the fundamental meaning of Cage's term experimental music, which I define differently than he did. I define it that way. It means you're doing something that you're not sure what the result's going to be, because you haven't done it before, and nobody's done it before, right? That's not true. I had a student the other day say that to me, and I haven't had a chance to tell him this yet, but I had a thought about it a little bit later. And I was looking up at the clouds in the sky, and I thought, that cloud has never been seen before, ever, in the history of the earth. Has that exact form ever been seen? Right? It's not all been done. That would be impossible. Because, I mean, the creative spirit is just too unpredictable and too lively for that to ever be true. Just be patient. It'll come. Something will happen. It's not all been done. And you might do it. What? What kind of a permit? What is it called? A permit for what?
From the office, you're going to get a permit for the mayor's office.
To talk?